We're now going to go remote again, but remote live to a brand new member of the team. Now, he's known a number of the brand presidents for years. He's been building other businesses. And recently, Galvan, our healthcare blockchain, has had some transition, some change. And Adam Sharp, who has laid the foundation and led the vision and mission up until now, transferred into another role. And now we've brought a new gentleman in who I got to meet recently in Kauai when we took 70 of our top leaders and friends out to Kauai to be at these beautiful properties on the ocean in Kauai and to share with each other some time to connect, to talk about the future, how we're going to build this ecosystem around the world. And I got to meet this gentleman by the name of Pat Barry. And Pat immediately started lighting up my mind and what I think is going to be an incredible future. He is known internationally and globally in multiple networks. And he started picking up the phone and calling people. And just off of a phone call, just off an invitation, people flew out to Kauai. Now think about what it takes to build that kind of trust, that kind of reciprocity, and that's who this gentleman is. So we're going to bring Pat live onto screen, remote. We can bring him up. There you are. Hey, Pat, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Where are you today?
So I'm in Utah, up in the mountains.
Awesome. Well, my friend, the floor is yours. Thanks for being here, and thank you for stepping up and carrying the torch that Adam handed to you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Tony, that was an incredible job, and I understand why you are so amazing. But I'm here today to share what I believe is probably the most important part of our lives. Now, in the chat, if you can share with me what is important to you, I would love for you to start sharing. I know we've talked about wealth today. I think wealth is great, and I think a lot of people are excited about that. Family, I see family, I see health, I see financial freedom, and God, you know, we all have things that are important to us, but what does it matter if we make all the money in the world if we don't have our health? And what I want to share with you today is about decentralizing your wellness. Now, it's important to have finances, it's important to make money, it's important to focus on your family, but it's really, really important to keep our health in check. Because if we gain the whole world and we lose our health, what does it matter? You see, our first wealth is truly our health. And what I want to share with you today, I want to talk about our system. Honestly, our healthcare system is broken. Now, I know we've got people here from all over the world, but I would love for you to share with me, does anyone in their part of the world love their healthcare system? I'm gonna look down in the chat here. It's broken in Australia. Yes, I actually lived in Australia. I had a friend that got cancer, actually was a business partner. He had to go to America to get surgery because it was an 18-month wait and he would have passed away. So yeah, around the world, Australia, New Zealand, US, our healthcare system is truly broken. Not only is it broken, but it's actually very centralized. Now, you would think the more money we would spend on healthcare, the better we would be. But if you look at this chart here, the more we spend, the countries that spend the most typically have the lowest life expectancy. Why is that? Why is that we can actually spend more money and actually get less? That doesn't make sense to me, that we can spend on the average $12,000 per person, per capita, per person in the US on healthcare, yet our life expectancy is lower than countries that spend less. And you can see Australia actually still, even though they have their problems, according to the chat, they also have a longer life expectancy than the United States, where we're located here today. Now, if that's the case, why is that? Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but the top 5 insurance companies in the United States control 50% of the market. Now, I want you to just think about that for a moment. 50% of the market. Most of you here, more than 1/2 of the Americans on this call are in one of the top 5 insurance companies. Now, why is that a problem? Well, I'll give you an example. How many people have heard of the little pill called Jardiance? They run ads on TV all the time. Guess what? 2 of the 5 top insurance companies have decided they're not going to pay for Jardiance anymore. Why is that? Maybe they want to push another drug that they have a special deal on or they have an incentive. But the truth is, it's your money. Why can't you control it? Well, you can't control it because there's these 5 big companies that are controlling 50% of the market. To me, that's truly scary. The second thing that's really, really scary is that 68% of all hospitals are centralized controlled. Again, I want you to think about that. 50% of the insurance companies control the market, and 68% of all the hospitals are controlled by some group that answer to a board that profit is their number one thing. Now, I'm not here to just slam the healthcare system, but around the world, we all know that when elections come around, no matter what country we are in, healthcare is always at the top of the talking points because they make a lot of promises, but not always deliver great results. Now, with that being said, I want to introduce you to Galvan and what we do here at Galvan. Now, the first thing about Galvan is we're all about shifting decentralization of healthcare. Now, I want to also ask a question. I know earlier Will asked a great question about, do you know where your food came from? I'm going to ask a question today. Do you know where your health records are? Do you have control of your health records? Can you see your health records? And in the chat, if someone can share with me, do you have control of your health records? Are they on yours? Are they protected? How many people remember when Best Buy got hacked or Home Depot got hacked and you got this notification, oh, we're sorry, we shared your data and your social security with tons of people, but oh, by the way, can you imagine what would happen if your healthcare data just got leaked to a random person? I mean, the truth is that decentralization is the only way that we can take back the control. We already know the insurance companies control what we can have and what we can't have. We also now know that 67% of the hospitals are all centralized controlled. But what does it matter? Who's going to look after the little guy? Who's going to look after us? We are. We have to take our power back. And that's why we have decided in what I believe is one of the most impactful blockchains is taking back control of our personal wellness. And I'm not even saying health anymore because I want to shift the word to wellness, because the truth is we spend too much time. Why is our system broken? Because we spend too much time focusing on sickness. When I showed you that chart earlier about the countries that spend the most have the least life expectancy. Taking another pill, a potion, a lotion, a magical cure is not giving us a better quality of life. But what would? Taking a shift away from sickness and focusing and rewarding wellness. And that is exactly what we do at Galvan. In fact, with Galvan, we actually have an app you can download. We have an app that you can actually speak to the app, and it will give you an assessment of your mental wellness. Imagine that, being able to speak to the app, it's going to tell your mental wellness. But not only that, we actually can track your heart minutes. We can track your steps. In fact, let me show you how many we've already tracked to date. Currently in our app, we have tracked 27 million heart minutes and 4.8 billion steps. Now, not only have we tracked them, but we reward them. You actually receive tokens for actually being healthy, for making yourself in a better condition and taking care of yourself. So this is what is so amazing in regard to that. Now, what is 4.8 billion steps? That is 89 laps around the world. I want you to think about that. Now, we're small and we've just started. We're making impact around the world. But if you get involved with this and you actually take a switch in your own personal health and go away from thinking about sickness and focusing on wellness and actually preventative measures. So what we've done is we've put together some incredible ways for that to happen. Imagine if we would pay you, give you tokens that actually have value based on your heart minutes. Well, guess what? We do that. Based on your exercise time, we do that. We actually have NFTs that will actually allow you to get a gym membership and actually get rewarded in tokens every time you go to the gym. In fact, our digital gym membership allows you not only to cover the cost of your gym, but to profit for going to the gym. Now, imagine taking that shift from sickness, moving it onto wellness, but now getting rewarded, okay? You've heard of Move to Earn. It's one of the fastest growing. Well, we actually have Move to Earn. We were one of the pioneers of Move to Earn. In fact, digital gym membership allows you to get your gym covered. But what if we could do more than that? Well, we have. We have an incredible way for you to get rewarded for doing preventative things. For example, going to the chiropractor, going to the massage therapist. How would you love to get paid or actually get rewarded for going to the massage therapist? Well, with our wellness NFT, you can. So you can actually come in, go to the chiropractor, go to the doctor, doing all these things that are preventative that your insurance will not cover, and get paid and rewarded for them. That is what you can do with Galvan and our Galvan NFTs. Now, we also have come out with the latest thing, which I think is absolutely incredible. How many of you take supplements, vitamins, any kind of supplement? We all do. We all should. We should take more. How would you like to get those covered and receive tokens and rewards? You see, we're making that shift, the shift away from sickness into focusing on wellness and health. And if you want to find out more about what we're doing at Galvan, I encourage you, when you're asked what is the most important, we know that making money is important, and I'm actually going to go to a lot of those calls myself. One of the great things about being in this community is that we all use all the different products. We love all the different products, but when you're asked on which one you want to know more about, I hope that you choose your health and come to our webinar to find out more about how you can be rewarded for taking control, from shifting to focusing on sickness and treating your problems, to being preventative and using Galvan to reward you for doing that. So with that being said, I'm going to turn my time over, and I want to thank you for giving the time for me today. I hope that you take this seriously and you get involved, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you on our next webinar.